If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and comment on the videos. I hope you enjoy the show. Now, let's go. Hello, Billy Ho here. Special show for you today. I am going to do a one-on-one interview with one of our Discord members. He goes by the name of the Skwirlman on our Discord, and he is at Big D Paranormal on Twitter. So you can hit him up and give him a follow there. Good dude. Lives out in El Paso or Texas. I think El Paso. I can't say for sure. But we're going to do a one-on-one, and I'm going to ask him some questions. He just recently had a $10K hit on the NFL, $100 SPY. So we're going to get into that and ask him some questions on how he builds lineups, projections, construction, stacking, different things like that. And that's going to be part one of the interview. And part two of the interview is going to be a little PGA action because he's quite good at that too. I wanted to get his thoughts on lineup construction over there, what kind of models he runs, where he gets some of his information from. You know, now you don't want to give away all your trade secrets, but helping out the Discord and all the followers would be great. And the other thing that he is going to do out of the goodness of his heart is take $250 of that $10K that he won last week, and he is going to put it up for a free roll for all the Billy Ho subscribers on YouTube. So $250, and we contest details to follow. We'll probably pay a first, second, and third on a free roll kind of thing like that. Details to follow. But the main thing we're going to do with that is I need 250 subscribers on YouTube. I'm sitting right at 200 right now, but for the $250 free roll, 250 subs. So let's go. And it's probably going to be an NFL contest down the road. So we got a few weeks to get that done. But the sooner we hit 250, the sooner this free roll runs. So let's do it. And I wanted to just show you a couple of things real quick before we get in with the Skwirlman. Okay, just real quick. This is a couple of the screenshots. This is just last week. You can see some of the stacking he did. And just a quick preview. This is the 10K hit from last week. So you know I'm not full of crap. And this is another piece of the puzzle, Olave. And this is last year. He had this big hitter last year for 15K. So that's just a quick preview of the interview we'll be having, and I hope you enjoy it. So part one of me and the Skwirlman coming right up. Thanks for watching. All right. I am live here with the Skwirlman, Jose. How you doing, Jose?
What's up, Billy Ho? You doing all right?
Yeah, real good, man. You're doing a little better than I am here recently, but you cracking them the five-figure winnings, and we're gonna jump on here real quick, and you're gonna tell us how you did it.
Sounds good to me, brother.
All right. So this is this week's Billy Ho Week 5 contest. And we are going to start with just real quick. How long have you been actually playing DFS?
Man, I've been playing DFS for almost as long as DraftKings has been around.
Okay, so you're like the ones when nobody even knew what the hell DraftKings was. You were playing.
Exactly. You know, it's just something that I love fantasy football. I'm to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of football. I don't, I'll watch it because I got money in my on the games,
Right.
but really I don't, I really don't watch that much football. Like in my spare time at home, I'm not going to put a game on. I'd be watching a movie, do something else. But like after the games are over, I like to watch like the film, do things of that nature, so I can see who's doing well, who's not doing well, and things of that. But I've been in the game for a little bit. I started early. I took a break for a while because I know here in Texas they kicked it out for a little bit, so I wasn't able to play. And then DraftKings came back, and so I started back up with DraftKings at that point again. So.
Okay, cool. All right. So if this is you're entering the Billy Ho contest, when you do you use like projections or anything like that or optimizers?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I watch videos starting Thursday. I'm watching videos after the football game on Thursday.
Okay.
So what's going on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm watching some videos depending on the content. Of course, I watch the Billy Ho videos because you're where I start. I also watch, there's another one that's 925 that I watch.
I know, yep. 925, very comprehensive video. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I watched that one. Al Zeidenfeld or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I like his content, not because of the content he puts out, but because of he kind of coaches throughout the video. So he gives you ideas.
Right.
So they all have different pieces. I take the content from those videos and then I put it all together and by Saturday I'm compiling a list of I'm trying to start bringing down the people that I want to have. But I did subscribe to 925 because he's got a little $10 a month thing, and I like his projections. I haven't checked out his golf yet, but his football the past couple of weeks, I got to give him a little bit of credit. He's kind of helped me out a little bit the past couple of weeks. So
cool. That's good to know, man, because I've been kind of interested in subscribing to something, but I don't want to pay $100 a month for a subscription. So I might check that out.
His projections are good. He's got an optimizer in there. It's frustrating to me, but I'll throw in some stuff and it'll give me some lineups, but it'll give me like I like the optimizer. I won't use the lineups it gives me, but it gives me ideas. Okay, on ownership, who's going to be owned, what's kind of, and that's all I really need. I subscribed to Fannie National a while back, and it was just too expensive for what I was getting out of it. So I chose to kind of let that one go. In golf, I do the Rick Rungood. I do subscribe to his, but he's got so much analytics on there that I don't get half of what I can get out of it because I don't have time. So
I guarantee you that because I actually won a free membership there, and I used it for a long time, and it was almost information overload.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's my problem sometimes is I don't want to be overloaded with information. You do so much research, you look so much into it that you talk yourself out of stuff, and you're like, man, I was on that dude, and I listened to this one podcaster, and he said that he wasn't going to play them, so that was the last one I listened to, and so I switched off of that dude, but I knew I should have been on, and it's just so if you get, that's why after Friday morning or Friday evening is the last video I'll watch. And then on Saturday, I'm just focused on taking the information that I got, putting it in a little bit of a spreadsheet, and just dialing it down and saying, okay, ownership, who do I want to have ownership in my lineups, and who do I want to get different with in my lineups?
Right. Okay. All right. So, for example, we're doing this contest, and you wanted to go through just a rough draft build of a lineup. And I know it's probably hard to do on just because everything just came out with pricing and everything. So it might be kind of tough because I haven't looked at it either. So go ahead.
So what I can do is I'll go like what I did last week. Okay. Since the build just came out, I don't know anything about. I haven't done research for this week, so I don't know where I'm going to be at. I don't know who's going to get hurt tonight because I don't know if you saw the news. Cordell Patterson just got on the IR, which kills me on my fantasy season longs because
Same
I
here.
had him in all 5 of my leagues. So I'm like scrambling right now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So at the end of the day, so what I could do is I can kind of give you an idea of what I did last week.
Yeah,
To
that'll be great. Go ahead.
So if you go down to Geno Smith for a minute. If
Okay.
he's on this
Let's see
slate.
if I can. I wonder if he's on the slate.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there we go. 5,500. So he got a little bit of a bump.
Yep. So click on Geno Smith for me. So everybody was talking about, oh, this is a week to pay off a quarterback. I'm going with Buffalo Bills quarterback, or I'm going with Jalen Hurts, or I was going. Nobody really wanted Lamar Jackson because he was sandwiching between those two guys.
Right.
So I'm listening to them and I'm like, okay, everybody's paying up for quarterback. How do I get different? How do I get weird? So the matchup between Seattle and Detroit was a juicy matchup to me last week.
Definitely.
That was the one that I was like, man, I got to get as much into that as I possibly can. I'm loving it. But what side do I want to take? Because even Jared Goff had a pretty decent game. I didn't go Jared Goff because of all the injuries he had at receiver.
I agree with you there. And just noticing this real quick, he only got $100 price hike, but you probably won't be running Geno Smith back going down to New Orleans, I would imagine.
No, because New Orleans got a good defense.
Right.
So when I was looking at this build last week, I go, okay, so Geno Smith is someone that, okay, I might have some interest in. Why? Because he's his legs. So I came over into this little section right here, and I go, what's he averaging running? Geno had not been running the ball.
Not really much, has he?
Yeah. So I go. So that's priced into the price.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
As long as they've been running that much, they didn't price that in. So I go, what if Geno Smith runs in for a touchdown this week? That's going to differentiate me from a lot of the other lineups that are out there. Because everybody kept talking about Mariota. And when you're talking cheap, I don't want to go chalk cheap.
Definitely.
If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
I want the chalk to be different. So if Geno Smith gets me the line that he got me versus Atlanta last week, which is, what was it, 325 yards?
Yeah, 325, 2 touchdowns, 22, almost 23 DraftKings points.
Almost 23 DraftKings points, right?
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, because San Francisco has a good defense. So I go, okay, I could see him not scoring very much. But I go, Denver has a good defense. If he gets me what he got at Denver, 17 points at 5,400, okay, that's 3 times value. And what I can do in my other rest of my lineup with the value that he opens up, it'll give me the opportunity to have a shot at something big.
Definitely. Okay. I'm with you there. This just real quick. Let's see from the beginning. All right. So this is the winning lineup, or this week's lineup, I should say, not the big winning lineup, but we're going to go through this real quick because I was with you, except I didn't really land on Geno Smith the way you did, but you were 100% correct on it. But I was really into this game as well, and I was really off of everything that was on the East Coast because of the remnants of the hurricane.
Exactly.
And you're paying 8,300, 8,400 for Allen and Lamar, and Hurts is in the bat. They're all in. Of course, they sort of almost got there, but they didn't because I think maybe they got like between 20 and 25 points. But if you're paying $8,000 for 20 and 25 points, that's really not getting there. I mean, you really have to fear them getting those 35, 40-point games and breaking the slate on you to really put you in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm.
So the next interesting part of this lineup, you went Geno and Penny, which Penny's not a big pass catcher, but he was so cheap. You had to have him in there. I thought 4,900. I thought it was incredible that he was, of course, 26% ownership. He was obviously chalk you had to eat. But Geno Smith at 5% was beautiful. It helped you fit everything. Those two guys right there, you could do almost anything you wanted.
Correct. And this week was a week running backs, they all went off. Miles Sanders, Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones had a great game. Rashad Penny. You had a lot of running backs that went off this week. So if you were able to save money on the running backs and get some of the other players, you were able to, to have a little bit of success on that, So Rashad Penny was the one that I did it. And the reason why is because, all right, if Geno Smith gives me, let's say 20 points, that's what I was shooting for from Geno Smith. That's what I realistically wanted minimum from Geno Smith. Where are the rest of those points going to go? And it's also very contrarian because a lot of people in the industry won't play a quarterback and a running back together. Unless it's like an Austin Eckler with Herbert,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That catches passes. So at the end of the day, I go, that's a way that I can get weird with my lineup, but keeping it with a low floor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you're already estimating a shootout. So there's going to be enough possessions to go around back and forth. I mean, nobody really knew that they were going to total damn near 100 points, but we all thought it was going to be both teams probably in the high 20s and mid 30s. So you can get there with a running back that can run the ball, because the same way it happened the same way on the other side is Goff got there and Jamal Williams got there. So you could have done the opposite and still been successful. Very interesting. Now this lineup, just to pivot off of this real quick, this was the 10K lineup from the previous week. And I didn't get a chance to look into it too much because it was really close to something that I had. And I noticed it. It was, I didn't have the Burrow. I was missing something. And I think it was the tight end for one, because I took a 0. I tried to punt tight end and I took a 0, which cost me. And then, but I had Eagles D, and I had Mike Collins was the key to that week. I think he was like 3,300 and he blew up. But this lineup, if I'm not mistaken, T. Higgins got knocked out of the game. Is that the one he got the concussion and had to leave the game? Because he had almost like 100 yards in the first half and he got knocked out of the game. So I was just curious about that.
That I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say it is, but I can't confirm or deny. But that
was when Tyler Boyd got that big, long touchdown pass.
Yes. Because I think he got more work because so you triple stacked. I just now saw that. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's 2 T. Higginses. Sorry about that. I was like, damn, he got 3 in there. But the Herbert, I think that was the key to this lineup here, because Montgomery was massive chalk. This was Monty chalk week for sure. And you went with Herbert at 0.05%. And he was the one that got there. That was I think, would you agree?
That, and the story behind that, my goal is, how do I differentiate myself in a lineup? And I play 50 to 100 lineups depending on the week, depending on the size of, where I'm looking at. If it's, some weeks I play less because I don't like the slate, and other weeks I play more because I love the slate. So I've got options to be able to play with stuff. And one of the things that I kept hearing, because when I'm listening to videos, I'm not listening for who they're playing. I could care less. I don't care who you're on. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to pick the people that I'm going to be on. But I want to know who everybody's talking about, so I know who the super chalky people are going to be.
Right.
And that past week, everybody was talking, that David Montgomery, that's the chalk you got to eat. Like, David Montgomery's like 20-something plus, percent ownership. I mean, when he got hurt, that takes a fourth of the lineups out of the game. And so, and don't get me wrong, I played David Montgomery that week because, I might have been like at 13, 14%, Montgomery. I was below chalk just in case. Right. I wanted to have something there.
Sure.
But Khalil Herbert is a good running back. He's got a lot, And the previous week, he was, you saw a little bit coming out of him coming out, and he had a few good weeks last week. So I thought, okay, when I do this lineup, if Khalil Herbert, if David Montgomery for some reason goes out, Khalil Herbert is going to eat, because that was the week that Khalil Herbert, how do you say, it was Houston. Their run defense is like a sieve. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. Yes.
You know, so so I go, if Montgomery is out for some unknown, and that's just me thinking ahead. I'm like, okay, I'm willing to Khalil Herbert gets me 10 points, 2.5 times, whatever. That's enough. It's not going to kill me in a GPP, but it's not going to win me a GPP. But Khalil Herbert goes from, how do you say, to 11 points, to 33 points. He almost won me the GPP. I just wish that Cordell Patterson would have gotten an IR 2 weeks ago instead of this week, because if Cordell Patterson does not go off in that game over there, I may win second place and 50 grand in this tournament, because it was Cordell Patterson that ended up hurting me in this week from winning.
Yeah, because that was the Seattle game the previous week or something. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, like you said. I mean, you paid what? Let's see, $5,200 for him, and if he only gets you the 5.1, then it hurts you, but you're not dead in the water completely. But you still save yourself the upside. And normally he gets a little bit more action in the receiving game, and he's not getting that this year. No. But I see where you're coming from there.
It's just trying to be different, but not being too different. The problem that you sometimes see is people try to get weird with every position. It's okay to eat chalk. I eat chalk all the time. I just got to find one or two players that are not going to be chalky, that have their floor is the floor, because they're not chalky for a reason, but their ceiling is 33 points, like Khalil Herbert, because he had a couple of 33-point games last year. He had a couple of solid games last year that which was his rookie year.
So let me ask you this real quick. When you build your optimizer, like you said, if you do 50 lineups in a week, do you hand build all 50? Or do you actually all 50 of them? Huh? You hand build them all?
I hand build all 50 of them.
Okay. I'm with you there, because is it kind of like do you have a core group of guys that you come up with? Like you say, if I'm definitely got Penny, I definitely got Derrick Henry, and I definitely got Hawkinson or something like that. And then what I'm going to do is mix and match different quarterback, wide receiver stacks, and maybe the run back, something like that.
Like I usually will be like 100% on the defense.
Okay, because I feel you there, because I think I like starting to do that, because I've been pretty decent at defense. Like I just went straight down and with the weather like it was, took the Jags D. And they ended up giving a lot of it back, but they still ended up with like 9 or 10 points, which is all you need for a $2,300 punt defense. But I was all over. You saw I posted in the Discord the Eagles D the week before. That was a no-brainer, because they were only they were under 3K. I thought that's just because I don't like spending over 3K on a defense.
I don't either. I did. Like my thought process this week was Chicago. I'm like, all right, the weather could be a little bit, it's Chicago, or I think they were in Chicago.
They were in New York, but it was still dicey, to be sure.
Yeah. You didn't know what the weather was going to do. And I go, it's Daniel Jones. I'm a Giants fan. So he's prone to fumble once or twice. He's prone to throw a pick. The defense that I picked low is going to be against a quarterback that makes mistakes. Daniel Jones makes mistakes. I'm a Giants fan. I will pick against Daniel Jones every single time.
Yeah, I don't blame you there, because I had some Bears D as well. So if you were to go this week, and I know we don't really have, it's just a first look kind of thing, but when you start to build a lineup, do you just go down here and look at the bottom half of the list here and go, well, you know what? I wouldn't play Dallas versus the Rams,
Mhm.
but I might play Chicago. Well, maybe Chicago again at Minnesota. That's a tough call.
It's
Arizona at home against Philly, not the worst, but
it's not Minnesota and it's
huh?
not prime time, so I won't go against what's his name? Cousins. Because
Okay,
he's at home and he's not playing prime time. So that's definitely not a but that Seattle Seahawks one right now looked juicy to me.
okay. The Seahawks D. All right.
Yeah,
Well, just
because
we'll
it,
just
it,
say for building a lineup sake, that's a
and this
nice
is
cheap
speaking
piece.
Monday. I don't know if Winston's going to be back. I don't know if Kamara's going to be back. I don't know if
Yeah,
Michael Thomas is going to be back. So that's just that's me looking at that. I'm like, okay, that one
sure.
looks juicy for the price.
Do you start with defense to get that out of the way?
I go defense and then tight end.
Okay, that's a good strategy because I kind of feel the same way because those are usually your two cheapest positions, and then
Mhm.
you know what kind of salary you're working with.
Exactly.
So you could just say, all right, well, we like these mid-range guys have been tearing it up lately. So
Hmm.
let's give Higbee a shot because Higbee plays tonight and we don't know what he's going to do. So we might get the Monday night football discount. So we could plug in Higbee at 4,300 and you still got 6,100 left.
Correct. So
So
what I
that's a
do
good
next is I go
start.
quarterback.
Go quarterback. Okay.
Okay, I like I said, I've done any research for next week. I don't know what stacks I'm gonna do because if I could double stack, I will double stack. Last week, yesterday, I was playing Lamar and Josh Allen naked.
Yes, I
Okay,
played Lamar naked myself, and
yeah,
it actually should have went the other way because I think Josh Allen got the rushing touchdown.
right. And if Josh Allen and if I did pair somebody with Josh Allen, I paired him with Ian McKenzie because Ian McKenzie was cheap and Josh Allen was so expensive, and Stephon Diggs was just that was that had to go off. That chalk right there had to go off for you to win any money in that.
That was exactly my point by fading all those weather games because I thought the chances of it going off anyway in a perfect day would have been 30%. And
Mm-hmm.
then you add in that weather when it's raining sideways in the wind, it drops it to 10% to me. So
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do now, we're running a little bit short on time, but I wanted to just get a little bit of love to the PGA side,
Okay.
uh, and we don't really have anything. Let's say. So this week is the Shriners, and it's in Vegas. It's short track, par 71. And what I'm seeing is hitting fairways are more important because guys like Kevin Na have done well here, and people that are shorter hitters. So it's kind of like hitting fairways and hitting wedges, and just hopefully catch a hot putting week.
Mm-hmm.
They're short par fours. So the guy with the best tournament, and I like to look at this too, tournament history. I don't know if you look at tournament history or not, but I always go over here just to see Patrick Cantlay stands out because he's got more strokes gained than anybody. But where do
Yep.
you usually start on a PGA week?
Whew. PGA. I start by watching your video and Rick Rungood's video. That's how I
Okay.
start. And then I want to know, okay, what are the metrics that I really want to focus on? And then I go and I make my own metrics from those situations. And then I'm huge on DraftKings points. So I weigh that pretty heavily in my lineup. And then and birdies. Birdie or better.
Okay. Yeah, that's my thinking exactly. And this was just I haven't really tweaked these numbers yet, but I put in Eagles as well because what I also like to look at is this course breakdown because it tells you the birdie percentages.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever I see anything over 1% over here in the Eagles, like that's 3%. This is
Mm-hmm.
five. Five's a lot. Half the field birdies this hole. 560. So I start looking at Eagle guys. So I throw a little bit of that in there.
Uh-huh.
But when it comes down to say like weather stacking, does that interest you, or does it really have to be an edge?
It really has to be an edge.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Because remember, I'm win it all or lose it all. As a GPP player, I either win it all or lose it all. Okay, I'm not afraid to lose the money. And if most people, the sharps are weather stacking, I'm going to do the opposite of what the sharps want to do. Because that means, okay, they're going to play PM AM. I'm going to do AM PM because of the fact that they're going to stack for weather. So I'm going to do the opposite. And if I lose my money, I lose my money. It is what it is. Back to the drawing board next week.
Okay. Are you?
And that's the thing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's the thing about a GPP player, because I don't do cash games. I'm just straight up GPP.
That I gave up on cash games probably 2 years ago. I think I kept it up in NFL a little bit, but then I got tired of that too because I thought, well, you can win. You min cash, and that if you're good enough to hit 23%, top 23%, then you're getting your money. Yeah. So you might as well shoot for the upper prizes. But as far as so skill sets and tee times, things of that nature interest you at all?
It just,
or do you just go through and you just and you pick out a player pool? So let me ask you this: how many lineups for PGA? 50? Same?
Yeah, I do about 50.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So out of that 50, you're going to have a player pool of. Do you go tight or do you go 35, 40?
I go tight.
Okay.
So I would do the 3 max. I max out the 3 max, the $23 max. I max that out.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where I do my core cascade out of. So I'll do a core cascade out of there, and that's going to be those core 6 players that I got. I'll do that and then let it run. And then on the picking the right games is always important. I used to go for the Millie Maker. I would drop so much money in the Millie Maker just because, but that's a lottery ticket.
Yes. Contest selection.
Yes. And so I stopped doing that. I will do 1 bullet in the Millie Maker. Other than that, everything else is either 3 max, single entry, or some of them do top 10 or whatever, but there's only a few people in there. Top 10 payouts. I do the 120 max, $3. Do all those, $60 on that, and then other than that, I'm just doing single entry and 3 max at the most. Just because I don't want, because I'm not going to do 150 lineups. I'm not. Right. And for me to do the 150 lineups, I'm just going to throw money away because there's other sharps out there that are doing the same thing. So there's just too many opportunities to have too many different bullets. So I may do 1 lineup in like the $5 birdie, whatever, and then I may do 1 lineup in the Millie Maker or the what's called. And the rest are all single entry, 3 max. That's it.
Okay, that's cool, man. I appreciate you coming on with me and getting to know you a little bit. I like to put names with faces, and I want to try to start growing this Discord a little bit more. So I might actually have a few members that if anybody in the Discord's interested in coming on and doing a little hitter. But you still interested in putting up the $250 for a free roll?
That's right. So my Discord peeps are always good to me, and we got a lot of things going on. So I said that I'm going to sponsor a $250 free roll for the Billy Ho Discord / YouTube community, because you guys, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't. I want to be as fortunate. So you and I will get together. You got on Discord, and we'll come up with the details, and we'll figure out how to get it done.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on with me, and hit him up at Big D Paranormal on Twitter, and join the Billy Ho Discord. And thanks for being on with me, Jose. I appreciate it.
All right, Billy. Appreciate you. Good luck.
Talk to you soon.
Let's go.